Why can't you tickle yourself? Because your brain predicts the touch a heartbeat early. The moment your fingers start moving, your brain is already running the answer. You know the direction, the timing, the pressure. So when your skin finally feels contact, your brain files it as expected. That expectation is the difference between a playful sensation and the full-body laugh. Why would prediction kill the tickle? Because a tickle is not just skin-deep contact. A tickle is a surprise signal. It shows up when your body feels something that it did not properly predict. That is why another person can tickle you so easily. Their touch comes from the outside. Your motor system didn't schedule it. Your prediction system doesn't get a clean match, so your nervous system treats the sensation as new. Your brain is built to predict. Researchers describe this with forward models. The brain predicts the sensory outcome of actions using the commands it sends. When you move, your brain also creates an internal copy of that command, sometimes called an efference copy, so it knows what it should feel next. In the late 1990s, Sarah-Jayne Blakemore and colleagues showed that when the brain sends a movement command, it also generates a prediction of the sensory result. If the prediction matches the incoming sensation, the brain suppresses the difference and treats it as self-caused noise. In plain language, your brain is basically checking causation. You did that, right? If the answer is yes, the tickle quiets. That same forward model machinery has been a central idea in Richard J. Wolpert's work on rapid motor control. The brain uses these predictions to catch errors in time, so your movements stay accurate. Without them, every step would feel like a tiny accident. Tickling is different from most touch, though. It feels sharp because it depends on mismatch. When the sensation arrives in a way your forecast does not match, your nervous system flags the event. That mismatch signal is what turns touch into, "Oh, wow." There is another layer too, agency. Even before prediction becomes detailed, your brain also decides who caused the event. Daniel Wegner's work on the sense of agency highlights that control feels real when actions and outcomes line up. When you tickle yourself, the action and the touch both belong to you. So the experience gets tagged as internally generated. Internally generated events get interpreted differently than unexpected events from the outside, and that interpretation shapes the emotion you feel. You might ask, if prediction suppresses the tickle, why do you still feel anything? You still feel pressure, temperature, and contact. What disappears is the surprise punch. Known consequences do not trigger the same emotional reaction. Known consequences feel boring. That is why your own self-made touch rarely becomes a jump scare, even if it is physically real. Now look at your day. You walk, you type, you cook, you drive, you talk. Most of those sensations feel smooth because your brain is constantly predicting what will happen next. Tickling is just a rare situation where you can deliberately set up an error signal. For your own hand, the prediction is strong and the mismatch is small. For another person, their finger contact is hard to forecast, so the mismatch becomes loud. But prediction does not run at one fixed strength. Attention and confidence change how much your brain trusts its own forecast. If you're distracted, tired, or your body signals are a bit unclear, the prediction can wobble. Then a self-made sensation may feel slightly more surprising. It still won't match the outside tickle perfectly, but you may feel the difference. You can also see the role of timing with a tiny mismatch trick. Instead of using your fingers directly, add a small delay between the motion and the contact, like using an object that lands a moment later. Even though it's still you, the sensory event arrives less like what your body expected. The feeling can creep back because the brain has less clean prediction to cancel. So the next time you try and fail to tickle yourself, read it as a clue about how your mind works. Your brain is judging causality in real time. It is turning raw touch into an interpretation. Touch becomes tickle when your brain decides the touch is surprising. Touch becomes meh when your brain decides the touch is expected. Now return to the question you started with. Why can't you tickle yourself? Because your brain predicts your own touch before it reaches your skin in the way your nerves expect. And the moment the brain predicts the touch, the tickle loses its surprise. That is the strangest part. You can feel the touch, but you can't feel the surprise. Your brain writes the ending first. Your brain predicts your own touch a heartbeat early, so the tickle never takes.